The year was 1974. The Smith family, eager for a fresh start, moved to a quaint village nestled in the English countryside. Their new home, a sprawling Victorian manor, stood at the edge of the village, shrouded in an unsettling silence. Locals whispered tales of a dark past, of rituals and a malevolent entity bound to the land. The Smiths, however, dismissed these as mere folklore. They were wrong. John and Mary Smith, along with their children, 10-year-old David and 7-year-old Lucy, stepped into their new life. The house, though grand, had an oppressive atmosphere. A chill hung in the air, even on the sunniest days. Unsettling creaks echoed through the empty halls. The family attributed it to the age of the house, their initial excitement overshadowing the unsettling feeling that clung to the manor. As days turned into weeks, the subtle strangeness intensified. Footsteps echoed from the empty rooms upstairs. Doors creaked open and slammed shut on their own. Objects went missing, only to reappear in the most unexpected places. The family, initially dismissive, began to feel an icy finger tracing the back of their necks. A sense of dread settled upon the house, seeping into their bones. The whispers started subtly, barely audible murmurs that seemed to slither from the walls themselves. At first, the family dismissed them as old pipes groaning or the wind whistling through the drafty attic. But the whispers persisted, growing louder, more insistent. One evening, as Mary tucked Lucy into bed, the little girl pointed a trembling finger at the corner of the room. "Mommy," she whispered, her eyes wide with fear. "Who's that man?" Mary, seeing nothing, reassured Lucy and dismissed it as a bad dream. But that night, as she lay in bed, Mary could have sworn she heard a raspy voice, barely audible, utter her name. Fear, once a fleeting shadow, began to take root in their hearts. John, a man of science and logic, tried to rationalize the events. He searched for logical explanations, blaming faulty wiring and drafts. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been sown. The house, he realized with a chill, was reacting to their presence. It was as if something ancient and malevolent had awakened. It was John who first saw the figure. He woke in the dead of night to a bone-chilling cold. The room was plunged in darkness, save for a sliver of moonlight slicing through the gap in the curtains. And that's when he saw it. A tall, shadowy figure, its edges blurred and indistinct, stood at the foot of the bed. Its eyes, two burning embers in the dark, seemed to bore into him. John lay frozen, every instinct screaming at him to run, to scream, to do anything but lie there. The figure remained motionless, its presence radiating pure malice. The silence stretched, each second an eternity. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the figure vanished. John, drenched in cold sweat, scrambled out of bed, his heart pounding against his ribs like a trapped bird. That night, for the first time since moving into the manor, John Smith truly believed. He had looked into the eyes of evil. The events that followed escalated with terrifying speed. Scratches, deep and angry, appeared on the walls, as if claws had raked through the plaster. The whispers grew louder, morphing into guttural growls and chilling laughter. The air grew heavy, thick with an unseen menace. One afternoon, Mary found Lucy sitting in the middle of her room, her toys scattered around her like fallen soldiers. Her eyes were vacant, her face pale. "He talks to me, Mommy," she whispered, her voice barely a thread of sound. "He says he wants to play." Fear, raw and consuming, gripped the Smith family. They tried everything to rid themselves of the entity. They called in priests, paranormal investigators, anyone who might offer a glimmer of hope. But nothing worked. The entity, it seemed, had claimed the house as its own, and it wasn't about to let go without a fight. Then came the night that sealed their fate. The family was awakened by Lucy's blood-curdling screams. They rushed to her room to find her thrashing in her bed, her eyes wide with terror. "He's got me! He's got me!" she screamed, her small hands clawing at the air. John, his heart pounding with a father's fear, grabbed Lucy and tried to calm her down. But she was inconsolable. Her screams echoed through the house, each cry a nail hammered into the coffin of their sanity. That night, as they huddled together in the living room, the shadows whispering around them, the Smith family made a decision. They had to leave. The following morning, they packed their belongings and fled the house, leaving behind their dreams and a part of their souls. The house stood silent, watching them go, the entity within lying dormant, waiting for its next victims. The Smiths never returned. The house remained empty for years, a testament to the horror that had unfolded within its walls. Eventually, unable to bear the weight of its dark past, the village council decided to demolish the manor. The land where it once stood remained barren, a silent reminder of the terror that had once gripped the Smith family. The demon, however, was never truly vanquished. It lingered in the whispers of the wind, a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened, some houses best left uninhabited.